Hello, thanks for popping in today. Have I got a fun card to share with you? Welcome to Bird's Nest Designs. My name is Denise Cox and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada, and I'm super excited to share this bright, fun Christmas card with you. This card is one of the 3 cards that we're creating for my 2022 In Color Club. So each month we feature one of the brand new In Colors that was released in the brand new annual catalog. Well, not brand new anymore, but the current annual catalog. So this is month number 4, and we are featuring the Parakeet Party. Each month I pick one bundle that I feature, and we make all 3 cards. This month I have chosen the Decorated with Happiness bundle, which is in the July to December mini catalog. And these are the decorated pines dies that coordinate with it. It's a fabulously fun stamp set. I love the whimsical look of a traditional theme. So, you know, ornaments and pine boughs are very traditional for Christmas, but giving it this whimsical look is just super fun. So let's get ahead and create the card. If you are a club member and you're watching, then you've got your kit already pre-cut for you here. And if you're not in the club and you want to create this card along with us, then I will give you the dimensions as we go. They'll also be posted in the description of today's video. So don't worry if you miss them, or if I miss something, they will all be in that description, along with all of the products that I've used today that can be purchased through my online store here in Canada. So for this card, we're going to use Parakeet Party and Shaded Spruce. We're also going to use the same color inks, Shaded Spruce, Parakeet Party, Smoky Slate. We're going to use our Memento Black because we are going to color the ornaments with the stamping blends. So it's super easy. We're just using inks and paper, and of course the stamps. We've got a few little dies, but if you didn't have the dies, these would be super easy to fussy cut as well. So that's not a concern. And then of course we've got a little bit of a surprise on the inside. So really fun card. Let's get to it. So starting with Parakeet Party, I've got an 8.5 by 5.5 card base, scored in half at 4 1/4. And we're gonna go ahead and fold that on the score line with a bump to the inside. And then I really like to give it a burnish here with my bone folder, because see how flat it's laying? It really crisps up that edge and makes a card that's gonna stand up beautifully when your recipient receives it and wants to display it. So I like that. It's very important to get a nice crisp fold. So the next thing we're gonna do is take a piece of Shaded Spruce, and this measures 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And that's just gonna go right on the top of the card, leaving a 1/4 inch of space so that each edge has about 1/8 of an inch border. So hearing that is going to be done with my stamping seal today. I tend to always have stamping seal and the multi-purpose glue close at hand, and it just seems to be whatever one I grab is what I use. So today it's stamping seal. So we've got that started. The other thing in your kits, if you're a club member, is you have a piece of basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4, so that's gonna be the same size as the Shaded Spruce. That's our inside piece. Then we've got a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece that's gonna go on top here, which we're gonna do some fun stamping on. And then this piece here is a scrap piece for stamping the ornaments, and that measures roughly 2 3/4 by 4, but whatever size you need to accomplish getting the 3 ornaments stamped and die cut out. They could even be separate pieces. So just some basic white scrap. So let's go ahead and do some stamping. Because I know that I want to embellish the inside of my card, I'm going to have my insert here ready as well as my front piece. So starting with, actually, hold on Denise. Starting with the sentiment, we're going to use Memento Black. And the reason I'm starting with the sentiment, because if I had started with the pine boughs, which I was going to grab first, if I stamped them in the wrong spot, there wouldn't be room for the greeting, and then we'd have to improvise. So let's start with the greeting, then we know it's in the right spot. Okay, oh, while we have it, I did say that. while we have the black open, let's go ahead and stamp the sentiment for the inside onto our insert. And this one says, wishing you a season decorated with happiness and wonder. I love that. Super fun. And we're just going to stamp that in the center of our card. Okay. For now, we can put the memento away, but we will need it again. So let's grab our shaded spruce. I have a massive 6-foot table here for crafting and stamping, and I always end up with this tiny little 10-inch to 8-inch square, so everything seems to get misplaced on my desk. I'm sure I'm not alone. So now let's stamp this once on the bottom of our card insert, like so. And then on the front of our card, we're going to come across the top and kind of have the top branches going off the paper. So kind of just like this. So basically the whole branch across the front. And then we'll ink it up again. This time I flipped the stamp and I'm going to do kind of the same, but the opposite. So coming in like so. One more time, let's ink it up. I don't really need the stem this time. Twist it again, and this time I'm just going to have the top of the branches sort of coming in the corner. So just twist it until you like how it looks, and so it's going to fill in some of that white space. Stamp is gorgeous, and the shaded spruce is just the perfect color for this stamp set. So next we're going to take our Parakeet Party. Okay, this color is so fun, and we're going to use this image here, which is this one here. Okay, so that is going to get inked up. And if you've watched the previous video that I did for this Decorated with Happiness, you'll see that these line up, but they don't line up. So they're not a perfect match. So don't sit here and try and get it perfectly lined up. You're just giving that color in behind to really make those branches pop out and add some fun color in behind. And it's totally optional too, because as you can see, this is a beautiful stamp just by itself. So depending on what you're creating, what your project is, what kind of look you're going for, the stamp set has tons of options. Okay, now I want to do the same thing on the insert. Okay, now we're done with the Parakeet Party. Let's close that one up. And then one of my favorite stamps in this entire stamp set is this adorable little star with the dots. It's so cute and it's so whimsical. So we're going to use that again. Oh, looks like I forgot to clean the stamp from the previous card. So there it is, that cute little star. And we're going to use Smoky Slate. And I'm going to be really subtle with this. So I'm not going to fill all the spots. Oh, that one didn't stamp very well. I am just going to kind of put them, a few of them. As much as I love it, and I want to put a ton, I don't want to overpower my card design. So just a few like that works for me. There is a little blemish here, some ink got on, but that we're going to cover that up. So I'm not worried, but let's just put a couple in here as well. Okay. Now we're done with that one. So we can go ahead and take our card base that we've already layered up, and we're going to glue this right on the front. Again, with the same rough 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. And then we can go ahead and glue the inside into the inside of our card. So now what we have left to do is to create our ornaments. And I'm going to take that scrap piece that I mentioned earlier, and we're going to take our memento ink. And then this time on this card, I'm going to use all 3 ornaments. I do want to point out that for the cards that I'm using, I've done today, I have chosen to color all of the ornaments in with my blends. Now I love to color, I love the blends, and I love the look that gives, but the stamp set is also designed so that you could take these little swooshies, I'm gonna call them, and stamp them in behind the ornaments to create the same type of shadowy look that the branches did. So keep that in mind if you have the stamp set or you want to add it to your wish list, because there's lots of options that way as well. So there's our 3 ornaments. And I'm going to go ahead and color them. You can choose to cut and then color or color then cut. This time I'm going to color first. And my colors I'm featuring as the focal point for these ornaments are 2 of the other current in colors for 2022. So this is the dark and light Sweet Sorbet, and this is the dark and light Starry Sky. So let's start with this one here, and I'm just really quick and simple. I'm not giving this a lot of thought. I'm just squiggling along the lines, and then I'm going to do this one as a stripe. So just, again, this is with my dark Sweet Sorbet. And just do. Okay. Then I'm going to take the light and we're going to fill those in. Hopefully my camera is not going to move too much on me. Sometimes when I color, the camera moves and the table wiggles, and I'm afraid you guys are going to get seasick on me. So there, oh, there it goes, starting to move. So when you color and you pull from the dark in, it kind of blends them a little bit nicer. Then we'll take our Starry Sky. And same thing here, I'm going to do this one as stripes. And then over here, I'm going to do the centerpiece. Now this is a little bit tricky because it's quite a small spot, but I'm just adding a little bit of dark to each of these in between the petals. And then, oops, that was my light. Okay, so I did that backwards. This should have been dark with light, so we're probably not going to get the shading because it's the same color. But sometimes that's how it goes. So we can do the reverse. I'm just going to color these in first, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So typically, not always, but typically I like to do the dark first and then come in with the light when I'm using my blends. But sometimes I do what I've just done here accidentally, and I take and color the light, and then I come in and I'll use my dark and just sort of highlight where I want it highlighted. Okay. And for this image, it's actually probably going to work a little bit better to do it that way because of these small petals over here. Now, as you can see, I did get a little bit of blue into the flower, but I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight, and I need to replace my Daffodil Delight. So we're just going to use the marker end and fill that in. I'm not worried about shading. It's such a small image, and with all that blue and red around it, it looks just fine. So I'm going to then do these. So tops, instead of do them yellow, like a gold. Just give those a color. Okay, so now we're going to line up our dies, and each of these has its coordinating die. And as I mentioned in the last video, if you've watched that one, if not, I hope that you will, but I've mentioned that these fit perfectly, and if you line up in this little hole up here, if you can see the top of you can see the string in there, then you know you've got it lined up properly. So as long as that is lined up, and then down here is lined up, you should be good to go. And for some reason that keeps sticking to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and line up all 3. And And then because we don't have a magnetic platform to use for our emboss machine, I always have sticky notes at the ready. So Post-it notes are my friend when it comes to die cutting. And these are some I used in the previous card, so you can reuse them more than once. And I'm just gonna make sure that when I put the sticky note over top, I'm catching some of the white paper, some of the die, and that's gonna help hold it in place, okay? So because there's 3 tight here together, I'm gonna kind of just try and do it with 2 Post-it notes. But a third one wouldn't hurt, just to keep them in place. So that's that. Then when I go and run it through my machine, I'm gonna start with, I'm using my mini boss machine, and start with number 1. I'm gonna put plate number 2 on top. I'm going to carefully put those on there, and then number 2 again. So that's my sandwich. 1, 2, paper, die, 2, and then I'm gonna run it through my machine. I'm not gonna bring it into the camera because it helps a little bit in making the shaking less. So I am just gonna turn that. If you get seasick, look away. It'll only be a second. Oh. Okay, there we go. No more shaking. So we'll peel these Post-it notes off. And they've still got lots of sticks, so you could use them again. My ornament's missing because it's stuck over here on my board. Okay. There we go. We have 3 beautiful ornaments. And I'm gonna take, to complete this card, super easy, we're just gonna flip them all over. And we're gonna put a large regular size dimensional on each bauble part. And then if you've got some minis, then pop one of those in behind each of the little bows. If you don't, then go right ahead and just cut your dimensionals in half, or cut pieces off of the edging. I don't waste any of this. So when I'm done, this is completely empty. I've used all my edging and everything because I love dimensionals. When I have my in-person classes, we fondly call them bumpets. Yeah, they're definitely one of my favorites. All right, so let's go ahead and attach our ornaments now. So as I mentioned, I have a little blooper here. So when I go and put my ornaments on, I'm gonna make sure that I strategically place that so that that is covered and nobody will even know it was there. Then I'm going to go, I don't know why I'm holding that one. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to attach it so that it looks like it's hanging right off of here. And then my third one, I'm just going to attach here. Now I could go up. I might even do that. I don't like the way this kind of stamped partial. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover that one up too. And so there we go. It looks like I've done no bloopers, but really we've covered up 2. I love it. It's perfect. So there we have it. Now, if you wanted to, you could go in with your small little dot and add another little star here. It kind of looks to me like I want to do that, but I'm resisting because I wanted to keep it nice and simple. So there is our card number 3 created with the Decorated with Happiness bundle. Again, can be found in the July to December mini catalog or on my online store. You can get to my online store really easily through my website, createwithbirdsnest.ca. The links to all of the products I've used today are in the description of today's video, so you can just click on those links too and it'll take you right to my store. If you like today's video, please leave me a comment and let me know. Give me a thumbs up, share the video would be awesome, and of course subscribe to my channel. I post at least 1 video a week and I'm going to try and get some more out there because I do love stamping with all of you and sharing my creative inspirations with the beautiful products that Stampin' Up! Offers. So thank you very much for popping in today. I hope you have a wonderful day and happy stamping. Cheers!